Thursday night.
And here we go from Tucson. Quickly to Barnes with an alley-oop and a great pass by Kapono.
UCLA wants to get off to a strong start, Kevin, and try to keep this crowd out of the game.
Anderson to Walton. Back to Rick Anderson, staying out of foul trouble. Key for Anderson today. Fake three, a seductive fake, and Walton kicks it back outside. Frye, Stoudemire, Gardner for three. Rebound inside, Zurich.
UCLA started in a man-to-man. We'll expect both teams, Kevin, to show a variety of defenses.
Here's Kapono to get Zurich, who kisses it off the glass, and a quick 4-0 UCLA lead.
And both baskets in the lane, right where UCLA wants to try to attack Arizona.
It's Frye in a thicket of Bruin defenders, and a travel. Turnover number 1 for Arizona.
Jason Kapono drawing 2 defenders, and as a result, there's an open lane inside for Zurich. He had 22.17 rebounds at Pauley Pavilion last year in the UCLA win against Arizona.
Bozeman, Rico Hines will not play. Post-concussion syndrome. A 3 by Kapono. Good! And UCLA has started 7-0. Kapono's on Walton. Zurich on Frye. Bozeman on Gardner. Here comes Rick Anderson. In the lane, hooks it up and short, may have been deflected.
He seemed to lose control of it, but you're right, one of the Bruins may have gotten a hand, and this is what UCLA can do. They love to shoot the 3, Kevin, in transition, and if you don't get to the shooter before he catches it, it's too late. The crowd here at the McKale Center has been hushed. It's 10-0 Bruins. Knight penetrates against the zone, finds the open Kapono, and with that kind of time and space, forget about it. Transition 3, Kapono again, this time feeding Knight. Those 2 upperclassmen working well together. UCLA makes on average 7 of 19 three-point field goal attempts per game.
Pristine effort so far by the Bruins. Here comes Gardner. Into Luke Walton, crashing inside. A miss picked up by Barnes, galloping the other way for the Bruins. Against Stoudemire, lobbing it in for Zurich. Around Anderson, squeezes the trigger and a foul.
Well, right now, UCLA extremely sharp. Arizona a bit on their heels. They have not gotten good shots other than the open 3-point attempt by Jason Gardner on their first possession. And everything for UCLA has been in rhythm and under control.
Georgia with a nice win today over top 10 Florida, and Duke with a nice lead. And Kansas at home, where Rockin' Allen Fieldhouse today, 7-point on top of number 6 Oklahoma.
Some terrific matchups all over the place in college basketball today.
Took a header on CBS today. You saw the first game. It was 12th-ranked Kentucky went to South Bend and beat Notre Dame. Inside, Stoudemire. Anderson tips it up and in, and finally, after an 11-0 start, Arizona gets on the board.
Arizona in the 3-2 zone. This was very effective against USC because USC was not patient, and they didn't have the same size in the backcourt that UCLA does with Bozeman.
And they weren't expecting it either.
Exactly. Well said.
Bozeman. Shot clock down to 11. Fake on Walton, outside for Knight. He's coming off a good game, and Kapono to Bozeman, 4 to shoot a 3. Good!
They're daring Bozeman to take that shot. Notice how far off Luke Walton was of Bozeman, and Bozeman fighting the shot clock knocks down another 3 for the Bruins.
UCLA has knocked down 3 triples. Walton fires a pass inside, and a foul call. 3 of 3, UCLA above the 3-point arc.
You take a look at how they attack the zone. Good spacing. The ball travels much faster typically than anybody can move their feet. And Bozeman, against the short shot clock, able to knock down the triple.
So here's freshman Channing Frye. His high school team won the Arizona State basketball championship a year ago, and he was the best player coming out of the city of Phoenix, signing with the Wildcats. With the free throws there. Jason Kapono, a screen by Zurich. Another 3, 4 in a row for the Bruins.
Lute Olson was so concerned about their ability to shoot the three. Not only can they shoot it deep, Kevin. Kapono and Knight can step 5-6 feet behind that college three-point line and shoot it with ease.
Pro range. Here's Stoudemire to Gardner. Walton on top, working on Kapono, crashing in tonight. Outside, Stoudemire a three. He knocks him along the hook shot. Stoudemire, a freshman. The teams are 5 and 6 above the arc. Bozeman tonight over Frye, a three. Good!
When are they going to get to those guys, Kevin?
It is a shooting gallery inside here today.
And I know the coaching staff talked about it because half of the practice was spent on being able to rotate out to the shooters.
Gardner driving and slipping in a foul.
And the Wildcats just are frozen-footed right now. Look at Kapono, well behind the line, about 2 feet, nothing but rope. And then Billy Knight on the skip pass. This was something else the Arizona coaching staff talked about, not allowing the skip pass to dangerous shooters. And right now, UCLA executing their game plan beautifully, and Arizona still trying to get on their page with theirs.
Yeah, Zurich is out, TJ Cummings is in. Dennis Lattimore takes the play for Rick Anderson, and here's Gardner for three. A rare miss this afternoon. Frye inside. Channing Frye has now hit 16 of 17 field goals over the last 3+ games.
He's got excellent hands, good timing, and he doesn't take bad shots.
It's Barnes with the fake on Frye. Corkscrews inside. Kapono for three. Good, he's an assassin. 3 of 3 above the arc for Jason Kapono. He's got 9, and UCLA up 23-9. Up inside for 2. Kapono is red hot.
He is a great shooter, a career 48% three-point field goal shooter.
Billy Knight to Bozeman with room to fire. Then Salim Stoudemire and the rest come up on him. Kapono another three. His first, that was first miss. It was hanging on that rim a little bit. From three-point territory, Gardner into the defense of Barnes. Stoudemire, pickpocketed by Kapono. Walton back on defense. Out to Billy Knight. Another triple. Rebound. TJ Cummings inside. Cleans the glass, foul, and traveled inside. A call to travel and a turnover on UCLA. Jason Kapono has made more three-point shots than any player in UCLA history. And for complete NCAA hoops coverage and exclusive insider information from Dan Wetzel, go to cbs.sportsline.com. For America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline. With Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan, McKale Center in Tucson. An exquisite beginning for the Bruins, especially from above the arc.
They've made 6 of their first 8 from behind the arc. And you look at the numbers right there. They're 2 of 2 on their shots inside the arc. Just a very efficient and productive start for the Bruins, and much what Steve Lavin wanted. He said the 2 keys for his team were going to be to make sure they play with poise and to try to transition when they had the opportunity to.
Salim Stoudemire, he knocks down a three-point shot. Rick Anderson back in for the Wildcats, and the same 5 for UCLA.
Stoudemire has been the steadiest and most productive of Lute Olson's freshmen, in part because he always plays under control and he picks up on everything so quickly.
TJ Cummings knocks in at 2. The shooting percentages are sky high to begin this game as UCLA is on top by 11. Bruins 82%, for instance. And Arizona not that far behind as the ball is lost and a turnover. As UCLA will bring in Dejon Thompson. He'll take the place of Billy Knight.
This kind of start allow Steve Lavin a little room to play with his bench, although he will get significant minutes from 3 or 4 guys off his bench. But when you've got this kind of lead on the road, you feel even more comfortable going to your second unit.
Cummings a miss. Arizona is 5 of 10, so they're 50% shooting from the field. Stoudemire to Anderson for 3. We know UCLA is a good three-point shooting team, number 11 in the country, but Arizona trying to match him shot for shot above the arc. Thompson throws it away. He's a freshman. Kapono tried to dive and save it over and back. It goes back to the Wildcats.
Well, the Wildcats have knocked down a couple of threes on their last 2 possessions. Rick Anderson from deep, and that can ignite what you need to do defensively. People always talk about your defense has to be steady no matter what. Well, you need baskets sometimes to fuel the fire at the defensive end, and that's kind of what's happening with Arizona right now.
Yeah, Zurich comes in for Matt Barnes. Anderson slithering down the lane, lost it and picked up by Bozeman. 25-17, UCLA has had a big lead. 11-0, and Bozeman with a sensational move down the lane.
Tremendous display of ball handling, and then at 6'6", Kevin, he's able to get inside and finish, even if he is confronted by taller front court players.
Gardner with a 3 and a miss. He is 0 for 3 is Gardner, and he is the leading scorer in the Pac-10.
At a season low 8 points, but tied a season high with 7 assists in the game Thursday night against USC. But in a game like today's, I think they'll need his scoring as much as they'll need his assists.
And Zurich to the freshman Thompson over the freshman Stoudemire. And a rebound, fought for, volleyballed, and reeled in by Rick Anderson. A 14-point lead has been the biggest today for UCLA. And inside, a bump and a foul called on Cummings as he was trying to work on Frye. One of the most talented freshmen in the country, Cedric Bozeman from Los Angeles, here finding 2 right into the teeth of Arizona's defense. And with the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's General Scholarship Fund, tradition for over a quarter of a century. Kevin Arlen, Clark Kellogg, Steve Lavin has got his team hot. Jason Kapono hitting his first 3 threes. He's got 9. Big lead for the Bruins has been 14 inside freshman Channing Frye.
Since the 10-0 start by the Bruins, Arizona has done a nice job chipping away. And they've done it because they've been able to get the ball inside a little bit, and they've knocked down some 3-point shots of their own, and they've become a little more active at the defensive end.
Good point. Ryan Walcott now comes in, taking the point. Kapono inside. Zurich vacuuming in the loose ball. And a foul called on Arizona went on Jason Gardner. And Sunday on 60 Minutes, should a suspected terrorist be tortured to make him talk? It won't surprise you who says no, but it will surprise you who says yes. Sunday on 60 Minutes. Zurich at the line, 3 points. And a 48% free throw shooting.
Well, it's hard to figure out why. You look at him shoot it, Kevin. He's got good balance. He's got good rotation. I think it has to be something that's mental or psychological, because when you look at his mechanics, they're much better than a 48% foul shooter. Look at the rotation on the shot. He shot that one short, but the rotation is excellent.
Kapono out, Cummings out. Back in Barnes. Billy Knight has re-entered the game. Here's Luke Walton. Kicking it outside to Will Bynum, who is a freshman from Chicago for Arizona. Gardner shot. Arizona has hit 8 of their last 10 from the field, and Clark Kellogg, they're back in business.
That 3-point shot can spot you to a big lead, and it also can eliminate big leads in a hurry.
And Ryan Walcott knocks in a 3 of his own. The freshman redshirt from Phoenix, Arizona, who is a better soccer player in high school than a basketball player. Driving inside Gardner. Didn't start playing basketball until late in his high school career. And he said the encouraging factor in that was his cousin, Mike Bibby,
Started talking to him about the round ball that's orange instead of white. And Channing Frye taking the orange inside. He's been able to get great position, Kevin, the last couple of times and take advantage of it.
And Luke Walton showing patience, feeding him the ball.
He is so good at being the filter for the Arizona offense, Luke Walton. Because of his size and his willingness to pass, Matt Barnes still has not scored. Good work by Gadzuric on the missed shot.
He's got 6. UCLA up by 9. Approaching the halfway point of the first half here from Tucson. Luke Walton just 2 points this afternoon, coming off a triple-double a couple nights ago against USC. Bynum deflected on the play by Billy Knight. Nice UCLA defense.
Well, Knight is about 4 inches taller than Bynum, and Bynum didn't recognize that going into the shot.
Billy Knight picked up by Walton. His defense key for Arizona.
Especially in the middle of that 3-2 zone because it's 6'8", and with the wingspan, the Arizona coaching staff looks for him to come up with deflections and also bother the vision of passers out top.
Walton trying to careen his way inside. Anderson fighting for the loose ball. Out of bounds it goes. And off the Wildcats. Now more substitutions. Andre Patterson will check in along with Kapono for UCLA.
Going after the orange. There you take a look at Rick Anderson. And Lavin wants a uniform on. As active as he was, he wants a foul called over the back. You got the ball, Steve. Relax. That's the last thing he'll do. Steve Lavin, one of the more active and animated coaches in college basketball, and quite effective in producing quality teams in his 6 years at UCLA.
Inbounding the ball right now, Andre Patterson, and there was an interesting injury he suffered. See that Band-Aid around his right hand? He had stitches put in that finger this morning. He was putting his bag on the team bus, and as he was putting it underneath the bus, he brought it back out and ripped the skin and put a gigantic cut on his finger.
One of those freak accidents that sometimes can happen.
Gadzuric tries. The brakes are put on over Lattimore. There's Kapono. Out to Walcott for 3. Missing that one and picked up by Bynum. Tries to make a move, and a UCLA foul. Well, the leading scorer on this Arizona team, the leading scorer in the conference, Jason Gardner with only 3 points, Luke Walton with only 2 for Arizona.
And we talked about both of those guys at the top, as well as Matt Barnes for UCLA, who's been on a tear of late. And everybody else for these respective teams has done the point producing so far.
Bozeman back in at the point for UCLA. Kapono, Barnes, Bozeman, Patterson, Billy Knight, the 5 for the Bruins, and Stoudemire trying to dance his way free.
A tough shot against a much taller Jason Kapono.
UCLA has led by as many as 14 points. They began the game shooting 82%. That is now cooled off a little bit as we have gone on in this first half. Now 12 of 21.
UCLA wants to show patience in attacking the zone. Actually, they're man-to-man now are the Wildcats.
Bozeman again tries to penetrate. Shot clock at 8. Kapono to Bozeman for 3. Caught!
See, they didn't know if Bozeman could shoot the 3 ball. He's made a couple already. So that means they're going to have to crowd him as well. Early on, they baited him into a 3-point shot, and he knocked it down. And that time, fighting the shot clock again, he knocks down the 3.
And a foul called on UCLA. Bozeman has hit 2 threes and has not missed a shot this afternoon. UCLA has led by as many as 14. They've hit 8 3-point shots. Arizona with 4. And a 14-point lead has been biggest for UCLA today.
Billy Knight in transition, one of the best times to shoot the 3 as defenders go to the paint. Bozeman against the shot clock. And Kapono, then Billy Knight again. And that was a great fear of Lute Olson's, the multiple 3-point weapons that UCLA has.
What do you think of a freshman point guard at 6'6", and he is the smallest of the point guards on UCLA, and talking about said Bozeman?
And that's a huge advantage going against the zone, because you can see over that zone defense that Arizona wants to play. And Bozeman showing the poise of a guy that isn't a freshman. I mean, he's playing like an upperclassman. what really helps UCLA with him in the lineup is that he's very composed, he's got good size, and he's a true point guard. I mean, he wants to set other people up, and it's easy to get assists when you've got guys like Kapono and Billy Knight on your wings.
Kapono's got 9, 5 assists, and 3 3-pointers. He's been terrific. Gardner for 3, missing from outside. Dive in, and they save it. It was picked up by Lattimore, and a shot outside going in by Salim Stoudemire.
Well, I tell you what, both of these teams shooting it extremely well from behind the three-point line. You wonder how long that can last, and if you're UCLA, you got to continue to be careful not to get too enamored with the three, or continue to shoot it like that.
I'm very
Stay enamored. Oh, man.
This is incredible. And a steal by Billy Knight, who catches up with the ball. Alley-oop puck for Barnes. Sensational play.
With the left hand.
Approaching 7 minutes now to play in this first half. Stoudemire to Anderson, rotating, and a whistle and a foul called on Arizona inside.
How did Barnes get to that ball? The pilfer, Billy Knight gets control and then immediately gets his head up. And there's Matt. Oh, that is terrific. You know, he was an all-state football player in high school.
Got the most touchdowns of any receiver in high school football, 28 his senior year.
And put those great hands on display there. That was a terrific go-get.
Boy, hasn't his stock raised this season? My goodness.
You know, I talked to him before the game, Kevin, and he spent an awful lot of time this summer working out with the Sacramento Kings, working on a variety of shooting drills, catch and shoot, quick release shoot, shooting off the bounce, and the kinds of things that NBA teams do to prepare and improve their players, especially during the summer, is a little different than what goes on in college because the NBA game is faster. There's a 24-second clock versus a 35. So being able to catch and shoot quickly is really important for wing guys. And you can tell Matt Barnes has worked extremely hard at that part of his game.
I met his mom and dad in the Sacramento airport last year, and I said, well, your son's a heck of a basketball player. So you should have seen him play football.
I think that was his best sport before he got to UCLA, but that deep three there, and again, 3 or 4 feet behind the three-point line as Gadzuric does his norm, 1 of 2 from the line. And this is actually UCLA's largest lead now, Kevin, plus 15.
15-point lead. Luke Walton did pick up a foul moments ago, and that sent the Bruins to the free throw line. Lattimore will sit. Bynum, Anderson, Frye, Walton, and Salim Stoudemire, the Wildcat 5. Kapono, Gadzuric, Barnes, along with Billy Knight and Walcott, the 5 for UCLA. A miss from outside, picked up by Frye, the hustling freshman. 5 rebounds for him. And a foul called on Walcott of UCLA. And tomorrow on the CBS Sunday night movie, terrorism has just met its worst enemy. Chuck Norris is The President's Man. Robert Urich co-stars in the world premiere movie, The President's Man. Sunday here on CBS. Frye hits his first free throw. 79% free throw shooter for a freshman and for a big man.
Yeah, he is terrific. He's played extremely well. 18 points a game over his last 9. One of the conference's best field goal percentage shooters. Does a good job trying to move his feet as Arizona back in the zone, but he fronts too high, and that allows Gadzuric to get the pass over the top. So you've got to decide when you're going to front the low post. If the offensive player is up too high, then you have to almost play behind or get some pressure on the ball on top.
Luke Walton hits just his second shot from the field, and he's got 4, and the Wildcats down by 13. Barnes again for 3, and picked up by Walton. A nice pass in stride to Bynum. To Frye inside, and a charge.
And Walcott took a shot to the midsection there.
Well, I'll tell you where he took it.
Well, it's just a little south of the midsection. And that's a good job by Walcott to anticipate the move of Channing Frye.
A lot of guts to stay in there and take it like that, because you know it's coming your way.
You're right.
You know it's coming your way, and Arizona knew UCLA was coming in, having won 2 straight, 11 of 12 The Bruins also knew the Wildcats were tough. They've won 6 of 7 in 4 consecutive games coming into this afternoon.
These two teams really, when you take a look at their personnel, the way they play, very similar. They've got a nice blend of upperclassmen and significant young players that can contribute. Both teams have pretty good size and explosiveness. The difference right now is that UCLA has more capable three-point shooters.
Arizona's going to go for the 3rd different center against Gadzuric. Now it's freshman Isaiah Fox in against Gadzuric. Bozeman into Gadzuric. Rebound by Walton. He positioned his body well.
He really does a nice job putting his body between the ball and the offensive rebound.
Fox and Anderson dig for the ball inside, and a foul called on UCLA.
One of the places that Lute Olson thought his team could hurt UCLA was on the board. And Steve Lavin is livid about the call.
Gadzuric just picked up his 2nd personal foul.
And Bobby McRoy trying to calm down Lavin. Where was the foul? Was it on that? Oh, maybe on the reach in there. Yeah, Gadzuric did throw his body into the fray there. And Steve Lavin probably could not see that. Gadzuric, who was causing some problems inside for Arizona, now will have to sit down.
They're in the penalties of the shots that are coming. As you take a look at Dan Gadzuric, high school in Massachusetts, born in Holland, and a 4-year starter for the Bruins. And at the free throw line, Isaiah Fox. And it's a familiar story for Arizonans, but for the people around the country watching today, Isaiah Fox, a freshman. His dad was an offensive lineman for the football team here in Tucson. He was born the same day that Lute Olson was hired for this job. Back in April of 1983. So he was destined to play for their job.
It certainly seems that way.
Here comes Seth Bozeman. Walcott still injured and in the locker room. A 3 by Billy Knight.
Forget about it. And that was one of the things that Arizona worked on in practice. Not allowing the skip pass and then being able to close out on shooters. They've not been effective in doing it so far today.
Bijan Thompson with a block at the other end on the Pac-10's leading scorer, Jason Gardner. UCLA 10 of 14 shooting threes. Inside, Barnes slides for 2.
And that's another play they worked on. They said Matt Barnes will walk you up the lane and spin back to the basket. You've got to make sure you force him out. Ricky Anderson forgot his assignment, and Barnes made him pay.
UCLA in the biggest lead seconds ago of 16. Back down to 13. That 3-point shot put in by Gardner. He's got 6. Both of his shots from 3-point territory. It's T.J. Cummings inside. Picked up by Anderson. Jason Gardner racing the other way. Pulling by Bozeman. Incredible speed. Now Kapono sets the check back in, as does Andre Patterson. T.J. Cummings will sit. So Kapono and Bozeman will be on the floor with Patterson and Thompson and Billy Knight. Small lineup.
Just as effective, though. That's part of the versatility of this UCLA team. They can go large or small and hurt you with either size lineup.
There's Barnes colliding into Anderson. A charge called on Barnes. His first. And Barnes has 9. Gadzuric has 8. Kapono has 9. UCLA is led by as many as 16 now by
UCLA is leading by 11. We want to circle Matt Barnes and Rick Anderson and look at Rick Anderson's feet. How he's vulnerable now because he's looking to overplay to Matt Barnes going behind it. That's called foot disadvantage for Anderson. And as a result, he gets beaten by Matt Barnes on the lob over the top. Lute Olson talked about it in practice. He really wanted Rick Anderson or whoever was guarding Barnes, don't give him foot advantage so he can make that move. Force him to receive the pass outside. They did not do that, and Barnes was able to score a two-pointer inside.
Here comes Salim Stoudemire out there with Walton, Anderson, Gardner, and Isaiah Fox. And Gardner tries to penetrate. Stoudemire for three. Short. He had hit 3 threes previous to that. And the rebound pulled down by freshman Andre Patterson for UCLA.
So far, UCLA has done a nice job, Kevin, of not allowing Arizona to sprint back and spurt into the game. As close as they were was 28-22 a while back. And every time it seems as though Arizona is going to get going, UCLA comes up with a big bucket.
Nice ball rotation. Here's Knight. Shot clock is down to 10. Good defense by Arizona. There's a lob inside. Kapono, who began the game so hot, is cooled off. That's knocked away. A turnover for UCLA.
Excellent defense by Arizona that time. Quick, active, happy feet. Good ball pressure, and they forced the turnover.
UCLA has led the entire game. The Wildcats were down initially 11-0. Walton spinning on Kapono. Rebound pulled down by Thompson. UCLA shooting 60%. Arizona shooting 48%. With Knight working on Gardner, the shove and the foul.
The quickness of Gardner that time bothering Billy Knight. He couldn't get by him with his feet, so he pushed off with the arm.
Knight's got 2. 2.5 to play in the half. Kevin Harlan and Clark Kellogg in Tucson, Arizona. UCLA has had 3 consecutive turnovers. Stoudemire to Anderson, who is not in foul trouble, and that is a good sign for the Wildcats. Contorts and feeds to Fox inside. Fox now has 4 coming off the bench. Maybe he is the answer in the middle today for Arizona against the Bruins. Kapono fouled by Stoudemire, leaning in.
Ricky Anderson inside, drawing defenders and then finding Isaiah Fox, who uses his body well to carve out space in the paint.
Anderson's father played for Lute Olson at Long Beach City College back in the early 70s. So when it was time to pick a school, his dad had a pretty good idea. 2:07 to play in the first half. Kapono again.
Important free throws there, Kevin, because UCLA had 3 consecutive empty trips. And Arizona was starting to get the crowd back into it. Kapono went down on the low post, drew fouls, and knocked down a foul shot.
Walton across the lane. That short-range shot, a pretty good one for him, but he can't make it work. Good defense by UCLA. Good
position defense. Use their body to force him into a tough shot. You don't have to block it. Sometimes it's good enough to bother the shot.
Kapono with his 4th three-point shot this afternoon. He cannot miss. 14 points for Jason Kapono. And Jason Gardner at the other end can't knock a 3. Another try for 3. Another miss. Rebound by Fox, who has been the answer, but he had it swiped away by Thompson to Barnes, leading into Anderson. Boy, all over the place. Bodies are strewn. Barnes is okay.
He's seen much worse on the gridiron.
Yes, he's used to that. And Anderson's okay. Anderson took a pretty hefty fall there himself.
Coming right at you, folks. Push ahead by Thompson. Barnes full throttle to the goal. And it looked like Gardner and Anderson. Derek Pierce got a real good look at that. And I hope there he is. There's Derek. He seems to be okay. Readjusting his equipment.
Putting it back together.
Here you take a look at it again from another angle. Gardner, Anderson, Barnes, and Pierce in the mix there. It's going to be dangerous out there. Yeah, you're right. It is broken. That takes more than the readjustment. That's not inexpensive equipment down there either, Kevin.
$50,000 camera that he's trying to assemble there. Connect A to B and B to C. UCLA is on a 7-0 run since they stopped turning it over. That has been a key for the Bruins.
Yeah, they've gotten good shots when they've not turned it over. Bynum from deep.
Will Bynum missing the 3. Coming off a 17-point game over USC a couple nights ago. Bynum was terrific. 4 3-point shots there.
And he did it in 15 minutes, Kevin.
Yes. Another 3. Freshman from East Chicago missing again.
Jason lost his headband. Kapono.
That'll throw him off. Coming up in the singular at the half, Jim Nantz will have all the college basketball scores and highlights. Plus more Billy Packer's interesting conversation with coaching legends Bob Knight and Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State. It's all coming up in the singular at the half. Headband is back on. And he appears to be okay. There was a wet spot on the floor. Mop that back up. Under a minute to play here in the first half. UCLA is led by as many as 16, which is their lead right now, 56-40. They've looked good doing it.
They have been tremendous, Kevin. That's the only way to state it.
Walton,
poise, production, three-point shooting, ball movement.
3 by Barnes, won't fly. Bynum, 4 on 3. And it's Gardner outside Anderson for the triple. He has 8. He's coming off a double-double against USC. Timeout remains for Arizona. Walcott back in the game. And UCLA with the timeout. Kapono another 3, missing there. Rebound inside, put up and missed by Thompson, and a charge inside, a foul.
It's a basket and a foul.
Yes.
Matt Barnes beat Rick Anderson to the ball, and Anderson committed the foul. Boy, that really hurts.
He's got 2 fouls. But he has been getting in foul trouble. When he does, it completely distorts the Arizona picture.
Well, a tough shot there by Kapono, and then weak side board by Thompson, and then Barnes. The Wildcats flat-footed there, and UCLA want to be able to go to the locker room with a 15-point cushion.
UCLA tied for first place atop the Pac-10, number 9 in the country, leading at halftime 58-43. Now to New York and Jim Nantz for the singular at the half.
To get up into the shooters and make them put it on the floor to see if they can make plays off the dribble.
And so we start our second half. Gardner out there with Anderson, Walton, Channing Frye, Salim Stoudemire, a good-looking freshman who's got the ball, pops a 3. That's a nice way for the Wildcats to begin the second half.
Well, they need points, obviously, but I think it has to be changed at the defensive end. That's where they've got to make adjustments and do a better job in order to get back into this game.
Bozeman, Barnes, Gadzuric, Billy Knight, Kapono out there for the Bruins. It's Gadzuric. We're in a lot of rest late in that first half. Rebound by Walton. Jason Gardner's been quiet. Quiet that is, except for those shoes. Look at a shot of these shoes. They're like shoes from Toto and Wizard of Oz.
High gloss red, they call them.
Gardner wheels into the lane overnight and missing the fadeaway. Gadzuric with the rebound. Cedric Bozeman.
Arizona comes out in a man-to-man, Kevin.
You like that move?
Trying to get more aggressive and get into shooters, but you can't leave him.
Jason Kapono has been an assassin this afternoon.
Notice the space, though, that the three-point shooters have had.
Knocked in 5 3-point shots. Jason Gardner, on the other hand, has gone 3 of 11. Here comes Billy Knight on top. And he'll put up a 3-point shot. That goes in. On the heels of Jason Kapono's 3. I guess we lost our signal moments ago, but we are back up and running. Here comes Stoudemire.
Both of these teams are off to good starts here in the second half.
Barnes with the steal. Down court for Knight. And he'll plop a 3 up and down.
Money. These guys, Knight and Kapono, are just lethal.
Knight has hit 5 3-point shots. Kapono has hit 5 3-point shots.
And you go back to 2 losses to Oregon that Arizona suffered this year.
Oh, what a play by Luke Walton. as he corkscrews across the lane for two and was fouled on the play.
Beautiful drive. The point I was going to make, though, as we look at Luke Walton spinning and pirouetting to the hole with the left hand, nice strong move here. That's why it's so important to be able to use both hands inside. But Oregon shot 23 of 39 from behind the arc in the 2 wins that they had this year against Arizona.
They're for real, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're a very good team. Ernie Kent and his staff have an excellent team. Their perimeter players, the 2 Lukes, Rittenauer and Jackson, along with Freddie Jones, are a real matchup headache for everybody they play.
I like Rittenauer. Here comes Cedric Bozeman. Faced a double. Barnes on top, the National College Player of the Week. And a nice pickoff pick by Gardner. Anderson trailing a 3. Rebound by Kapono. Great tempo and pace to this gameplay.
Nice flow, and again, one of the highlights, one of the keys for UCLA was to play with poise, and they've done it from the start. Jumped out to a 10-0 lead and have not looked back.
And Zurich tonight, Kapono open for the triple. Again! He's knocked out.
Oh, Lute Olson is living. He is absolutely beside himself. You cannot give a shooter that kind of space. Look at the space Kapono gets, just coming off a simple screen. There should have been a switch. It didn't happen. Take it out of the net, says Kapono. It is all Bruins. They lead 18. The ball's here. Kapono's there. It's going to come out here, the ball is tonight. And then it's just going to be a dribble handoff to Jason Kapono. And Arizona just doesn't communicate. It should have been a switch. There wasn't. 2 Arizona defenders collide, and Kapono is open behind the three-point line. And most of his shots have been that way. He has not really been challenged on any of his three-point shots, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2.
Is Walton the culprit for Arizona?
Well, that's communication. And he's one of the best, actually their best communicator at the defensive end. So it was basically a lack of communication by somebody, and in that case it might have been Walton.
Into Frye, and then backs up to the baseline and knocks in the jump shot. UCLA leads it 69-58. UCLA has hit 14 three-point shots this afternoon. Their big lead, 18. And right now up by the count with 16 minutes remaining in the game. And Matt Barnes, and a sweet hook off the block.
He can do it all. He'll find you if you're open as a teammate. He'll take it inside. He'll shoot the 3. He'll defend.
So there's a turnover. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local CBS station. And Sunday on 60 Minutes, should a suspected terrorist be tortured to make him talk? It won't surprise you who says no. It will surprise you who says yes. Sunday on 60 Minutes, followed by the education of Max Bickford. And on the CBS Sunday movie, Chuck Norris is the President's Man. All here Sunday on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Clark Kellogg. Courtside, McKale Center, Olsen Court, Tucson. UCLA has led the entire way, opening up 11-0 over the Wildcats. And the big scores, Barnes, Kapono, and Knight, a combined 49 points.
And they've done it with surgeon-like precision. If Arizona is going to have any chance to get back into this game, Kevin, they've got to ramp it up at the defensive end. They've got to turn it into kind of an alley fight game. Make it wild, make it frenetic. But I wonder if they have the speed to be able to do that against a very good UCLA team that has multiple weapons.
UCLA shooting 61% from the field. Zurich climbing on the floor. Walton finally gets it. Nice play by Rick Anderson. Frye. Bozeman trapped in a turnover for the Arizona Wildcats.
One of the few mistakes that Cedric Bozeman had made. A little undecided as to what he wanted to do with the ball there. And as a result, walked with it.
Lavin told us yesterday that Cedric Bozeman is the most advanced freshman that he has ever coached at UCLA.
Wow. He's had some good ones.
Yes.
Aaron Davis comes to mind.
Absolutely. Jerron Rush, Earl Watson, Kapono. Here comes Billy Knight. The drive. Knocked away by Channing Frye and picked up by Bozeman. Shot clock still ticks to 24.
That's a good example of the kind of poise that Steve Lavin wants his team playing with. They had an opportunity in transition. It was denied. Back it up, set it up, and run your own.
Billy Knight missing the three. Picked up by Stoudemire. Knight gets in the way. A 4-on-1. It's Gardner for three. Rebound Frye taken away by Kapono. 14.5 to play in regulation. And Seg Bozeman. Nice pass to Gadzuric with the seductive fake. No foul called. It's Arizona with the rebound. Gardner losing the ball and then off UCLA. A little sloppy right now. Monday on CBS. Don't miss the show that Entertainment Weekly calls sitcom royalty. Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in The King of Queens. Monday here at CBS, 8 o'clock, 7 Central. 14 to play. Ryan Walcott will check in. Bozeman will check out. Billy Knight will leave, and coming in will be Dijon Thompson. Walton down the lane, looks to feed, and picked up nicely by Dennis Lattimore, who is a freshman out of the state of Kansas. And a foul is assessed inside.
Lute Olson told us yesterday that Lattimore, the most physical of the freshmen. He's got a body that can be physical, well put together.
You're wondering how a kid from Kansas could get away from Roy Williams. What happened was Lattimore's family lived in Mesa, Arizona. They were the Arizona State champs when he was a sophomore. Then the family moved to Halstead, Kansas, which is in the middle of the state, and he had grown to love the Wildcats, so there was no question where he was going to go as Gadzuric leaves with 3 fouls, and T.J. Cummings will take his place.
That happens. You can't fence them all in.
That's right.
You need to make sure you get as many of the top players in your particular state. But for a variety of reasons, sometimes you won't get all of them.
Arizona has scored only once on 9 UCLA turnovers. Walcott, who took a beating early in the game, back out there. Hale and Hardy. Here comes Kapono. He's put on a clinic. His defender falls. He decides to feed. Walcott, Barnes. Kapono again trying to maneuver for room, as does Dijon Thompson, who lets the ball roll in for 2. He's a freshman from Inglewood, California. 20-point lead, and this is the biggest this afternoon by UCLA. Shocking the way they've dominated this game.
It really is. You thought Arizona had a quickness advantage when you looked at the teams, but all day long, UCLA has been the quicker, bigger, and more proficient team.
Luke Walton hits a 3. Hard to believe Luke Walton was only a role player on last year's Final Four team for Arizona.
But a very important one, because he could do so many different things at both ends of the floor.
Here's Thompson, knocked away by Stoudemire, picked up by Walton against Kapono. The trailing Salim Stoudemire. That last name's familiar, isn't it? Here's a pass into Jason Gardner. And he'll put up a 3. Hitting the deck hard, and a foul called on Kapono. That means 3 shots at the line.
Number 24, Jason Kapono.
There's Gardner at the free throw line. You know, one of the great things about the Pac-10 getting ready for this game, you come to realize, Clark, the incredible talent at the point guard position from this conference. Just lately, last handful of years, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Terrell Brandon, Damon Stoudemire, Mike Bibby, Jason Terry, Arthur Lee at Stanford, Earl Watson, and in this kid here, Jason Gardner, who's played the 2 guard and the point guard.
And you go back a little further and you look at just the point guards from Arizona that have come along. It's amazing. And in talking with Lute Olson yesterday, we talked about what he looks for in a point guard, and he wants guys that not only can distribute, but he wants point guards that can score, that can break the defense down, that can shoot the three, because he feels like if you can do that, you open up other avenues and opportunities for your teammates.
And do a lot of coaches in college
I
basketball
don't think so.
like that?
I don't think so. I think most of your coaches want a point guard that can just simply run the team. If he has the ability to score, that's fine, but that's not a priority. I think with Lute, it's a priority that you have the quickness and the ability to score and not be afraid to do so.
Well, he's gotten the results. There's no doubt about that. A Final Four team last year. And years before in a timeout. Nice defense by Rich Anderson.
That's where it's going to have to happen, Kevin. I've said it since the start of the second half. They've got to amp up the defensive pressure to try to cut this 14-point lead down.
And Tuesday on CBS, see why The Guardian is America's most watched news show. A client is hiding a family secret. And how can attorney Nick Fallon expose it when he's sworn to keep it silent? We'll find out an all-new Guardian Tuesday here on CBS. Well, the McKale Center has been rocking this afternoon. Well, UCLA has been doing the rocking themselves.
They sure have been. They pretty much kept this crowd out of it.
Thompson down the lane into Walton. Rebound by Isaiah Fox. 6-0 run by Arizona. Gardner the other way. To Rick Anderson. It's an 8-0 run.
Attacking off penetration, getting something at the basket, now trying to pick up the pressure defensively.
No call, then a shot by Gardner and a foul called on Billy Knight.
This is exactly what I was talking about when I said a few moments ago that Arizona needed to stir the pot a little bit. Penetration, nice find by Gardner, the layup by Anderson. Now you can put your full court pressure into play and try to disrupt the Bruins. They've been in such a comfort zone in terms of their execution and their rhythm shooting. Somehow, some way, if you're Arizona, you've got to disrupt that.
Salim Stoudemire, a freshman, is out. Freshman Will Bynum with the ball. Fired! He was the public high school player of the year in Chicago a season ago. He's dynamite. An 11-0 run by Arizona. They're back in it again. Down by 9. It's Kapono in the lane and outside tonight for 3. Rebound chased and retrieved by Anderson. Gardner, good screen by Anderson. The Wildcats are on a roll. 14-0 run over UCLA. Coming up next, Eddie Sutton's Oklahoma State Cowboys tangle with Bob Knight's Texas Tech Red Raiders of North Carolina. We'll take on the Yukon Huskies. Check local listings for the game in your area right here on CBS. With Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan. And we are in McKale Center in Tucson. Full-court press broken with ease. Down court, Kapono, a floater in the lane, rolls out. Zurich taps it back in.
Well, they had a 2-on-1 advantage there as they flew over the top of the press. That left Zurich free on the offensive board.
Luke Walton fighting inside and trying to gain position in a UCLA foul.
Look at the body language of the Wildcats now, Kevin. Because they've amped it up defensively, now they're being even more aggressive offensively, not settling for quick threes, probing inside, and then playing inside out. And Zurich picks up foul number 4.
And he will leave, and T.J. Cummings will check in for Coach Steve Lavin. And here comes Walton.
Strong move by Luke Walton. Took it right at Zurich. He thought he got all ball. Got him with the body.
Walton now this afternoon with 13 points, and number 14 rolls in there. Wildcats clawing their way back. 11-11 to play. A 16-2 Arizona run.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four. is sponsored by the Honda Odyssey. It's one of the joys of parenthood. Wendy's Super Value Menu, the best 99 cents you can spend. And by Open, the Small Business Network. New tools for a small business economy from American Express.
That's a big golf ball, isn't it, huh? UCLA has seen their one-time lead of 20 dwindle now, 75-69.
And it didn't take very long. It was 18 at the 15:49 mark. That was the UCLA lead. In the last 4.5 minutes, it's been cut to 6. And Arizona's done it with defense and attacking offense, but the defense has been the difference.
Dan Zurich is on the bench with 4 fouls. TJ Cummings takes his place. Postman out there with Knight, Barnes, and Jason Kapono. Full court pressure by Arizona.
Dan Gadzurek on the bench with 4 fouls. His inside presence has been pretty good at both ends of the floor. UCLA now have to play smaller, which means execution becomes really important, especially as Arizona has made this run.
2 freshmen on the floor for Arizona. Walton and Anderson out there. Stoudemire, Bynum, and Gardner. Knight over Anderson at the line. Bynum with the rebound.
That's a good shot for Billy Knight. He just didn't get it to go down, and Arizona has a chance to cut the lead further.
Stoudemire to Luke Walton, who scored 14. Inside! What a play!
We highlighted Luke Walton as well as Matt Barnes at the top as you look at Dan Gadzurek, who would have most likely been there to give Barnes help. But Luke Walton feels, he finds, and then feels that defender. And when you do that as good as he is offensively, you're going to be able to make plays. And he went right at Matt Barnes, drew the foul, and knocked down the hoop. He took 13 foul shots, made 13 out of 15 the other night, and he's not typically a very good foul shooter.
Wonderful performance this afternoon by Walton. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. This is the closest it's been since 2-0. And now it's Anderson coming in with the reverse. They blocked it away. But boy, I'll tell you what, he's ready to light the fuse. A 4-point game with 10:23 to play.
And already now, UCLA over the limit, Kevin. So on any common fouls the rest of the way, and that's one of the things you want to do when you're behind. You want to be in a position to score points with the clock stopped. And because Arizona has been more aggressive in taking the ball to the basket, they've drawn fouls, and now they'll shoot free throws the rest of the half.
UCLA, 17 fouls. Arizona, not a single foul.
That is huge.
This second half.
That is large. And Arizona, a pretty good foul shooting team, 76% in conference play.
Anderson again. Full court pressure, right. The defensive screws have been tightened. Here comes Kapono at the other end. Working on Stoudemire, but Stoudemire did a nice job. Barnes for 3. Rebound. Chased down a second rebound by Will Bynum. A 20-2 run for Arizona. Gardner, Stoudemire for the lead. Missing the 3. Picked up by Billy Knight. Kapono for 3. And Jason picked up by Stoudemire. To Gardner. His 3 for the lead. Oh, what a shot. Timeout UCLA. A frenzied McKale Center here in Tucson. Kevin Harlan, Clark Kellogg. UCLA, the 9th-ranked team in college basketball, racing out to an 11-0 lead. They built it as large as 20 points, but coming back with defense leading the way. Arizona on a 23-2 run and take their first lead of the game with 9:43 to play in the game.
Boy, they have spurted in big fashion. Jason Gardner in transition for the open 3 gives the Wildcats their first lead. But as you said, Kevin, the catalyst for this comeback has been defense. They've gotten up into UCLA. You look at the run, 25-2 over 3.5 minutes.
UCLA is tied atop the Pac-10 Conference with USC and Oregon. Arizona is a half game away. Recall now, a week ago today, UCLA upset #1 ranked Kansas in Los Angeles. UCLA has been paid by their 14 three-point shots in this contest, but none of late. And while they've grown cold, Arizona and Salim Stoudemire and Jason Gardner and others have gotten hot for Coach Lute Olson.
Well, Lute Olson has to be much more pleased with his team's defensive effort. They've gotten up into shooters, Kevin. There haven't been the warm-up jump shots that were available for 25 minutes of this game.
Billy Knight fakes the three and drives to the lane. Inside, it's loose and out of bounds. UCLA turns it over again. Billy Knight has missed his last 5 shots, and early in the game, he couldn't miss anything. Dan Gadzuric is being missed by the Bruins right now.
Well, he's a guy that they could throw it into down low to try to stem this tide.
Jason Gardner for 3. The rebound by Jason Kapono. And Kapono's put in 19 and 5 three-point shots today.
Not the best choice of shots there. You've got UCLA over the limit with fouls. You want to take threes when they're available after you've probed inside.
Arizona picks up a foul. It goes on Stoudemire. He now has 4. UCLA comes in having won 11 of their last 12. Arizona comes in winning 6 of their last 7 and 4 consecutive games as Channing Frye comes in for the Arizona Wildcats. So more size. They take out Salim Stoudemire. UCLA led by 18 when Dan Gadzuric left with those 4 fouls, and Arizona on top by a point. Under 9 to play in the second half.
Arizona all man to man. It's been a big part of their comeback.
Matt Barnes with the miss. Another rebound pulled down by Luke Walton, snaring his 5th, and here comes Jason Gardner, the leading scorer in the Pac-10 Conference. Chicago freshman, rebound for 3. Rebound off of Walton, picked up by Dijon Thompson. UCLA number 9, Arizona number 15. As Bozeman, the freshman, draws and is called for the charge. And now Bozeman has 4. Gadzuric has 4 for UCLA.
Good movement of the feet here by Bynum. Well, that's a tough one. He seemed like he slid in and under, but he did keep his feet moving as Bozeman will have to sit with his 4th personal foul.
And another freshman, Ryan Walcott, will come in at the point. And Andre Patterson, another UCLA freshman, is in the game. UCLA shooting 51%, Arizona shooting 49%. Gardner to Walton, double inside with the great stuff put down by Channing Frye. Another assist for Luke Walton.
He sees so well, Kevin, and he looks off defenders. He uses his eyes to set up his assist. He'll look one way and then find a teammate in another direction.
A 25-2 Arizona run. Walton with 16 points and 6 assists. TJ Cummings as they dive for it, and it's lost by UCLA again. The comeback led by Luke Walton with plays like this. The McKale Center in full frenzy, leading 78-75. Well, you look up and down, except for the score, the number's basically the same. Arizona was down by 20 points. They now lead 78-75. They're on a 25-2 run, Clark Kellogg. Incredible comeback.
It really has been, and it's been spurred by the defense, Kevin. When you look at what UCLA, they were up 73-50. They were up 71-53 at the 15:49 mark. They've scored 4 points in the last 8 minutes. And the reason that they've only scored 4 is because Arizona has been much more aggressive defensively. And adding to the good defense has been timely three-point shooting and the overall brilliance of Luke Walton. Scoring, assisting, and playing good defense.
UCLA in the last 8 minutes, 6 points, but 8 turnovers. Gadzuric is back out in foul trouble. Matt Barnes out there with them. Thompson, Walcott, and Jason Kapono. Here's Luke Walton getting a screen from Anderson. 7.5 to play. Will Bynum for 2. He's come on in limited time.
And with Luke Walton back in the lineup, the quality of shots that his teammates get goes up because of his passing ability.
Kapono on the side. Walton is on him. Kapono's got 16.
He's been parked there for a while, too.
Inside Barnes had it knocked away. Walton and Anderson defending. Racing the other way comes Jason Gardner. Anderson as Barnes defends and feeding inside to Walton, who crashes to the glass. Hurts the back. He fell on that back the other night.
That may be Gadzuric, Kevin, on the block.
He's fine now. So Gadzuric, when he was out, Arizona went on a 23-4 run, and now UCLA without him the rest of the way.
Penetration, drawing defenders. Oh, wow. My goodness. That seemed to be an awkward fall that wasn't caused by contact from Gadzuric, at least from that angle. Didn't appear as though Gadzuric made any contact with Walton.
Luke Walton will be at the free throw line, and he is coming off an incredible game against 18th ranked USC a couple nights ago. A triple-double, 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Only the 15th triple-double in Pac-10 basketball history. And coming up next, most of you will see number 6 Oklahoma State against Bobby Knight and the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Others will see North Carolina at UConn.
Connecticut unbeaten in Big East play already.
Nice
As you take a look, there was just a shade of contact there with the hip of Gadzuric, but I don't think enough to warrant a foul.
So missing right there. Luke Walton has been assisting on many plays this afternoon. 7 assists, and he leads the Pac-10 in that category.
And even when he doesn't make an assist, a lot of times Luke Walton will make the pass that leads to the assist. Breaking down the defense with a good pass, and then somebody else will end up with the assist.
Walcott against Bynum, and a foul called on the Chicago freshman Bynum. UCLA has only gone 2 of their last 13 from the floor. And ironically enough, they spent so much time at the free throw line. Clark in the first half, not a single free throw in the second.
It's been all Arizona. It's been the tale of 2 halves. Arizona has been more aggressive. Their defense has led to opportunities in the open court, timely three-point shooting, and also getting UCLA into early foul trouble. They were able to capitalize from the line as well.
Here's Barnes working on Anderson inside, going up for a shot, and a foul. And it goes on Rick Anderson. Now our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Points in the paint. Second half, that's where Arizona has really fed with Gadzuric out. Get complete game stats at cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. So here's Matt Barnes, who had an incredible week. 19 against Arizona State a couple nights ago. 27 a week ago today against number one ranked Kansas in the UCLA upset of the Jayhawks.
And then in the loss against USC, he went for a career-high 34. They're going to need him to be productive now because he's the one guy, in addition to Kapono, Kevin, that UCLA can post up. Not having Bozeman, not having Rico Hines, the 5th-year senior available, who's suffering from headaches after a concussion. He suffered back on January 8th, not even dressed for today's game. Really important pieces of UCLA's puzzle that are missing right now.
So UCLA gets their first points at the free throw line. Seconds to go in the last 5 minutes. The first 2 and a foul call here on Ryan Walton. So a couple shots with 6:08 to play, and the game now has become a little bit more ragged as we wind down. But the incredible run that Arizona had, ignited by Luke Walton, fed by Jason Gardner, and some sensational Arizona defense. Walton again.
And Arizona actually needed it to become a little more ragged. As things were rolling smoothly for UCLA, that played to the Bruins' strength.
Here's an Arizona team that in the preseason polls wasn't even in the top 25.
Well, every good book doesn't make the bestseller list, and every good team doesn't end up in the ranking.
Matt Barnes, nice feed. Kapono for three. Caught! He's knocked in another. He's had an incredible afternoon shooting from three. Hit his first three-point shots to start the game. 82-80 Arizona. Bynum for three over Thompson. He has been incredible coming off the bench. River Bynum with 8 and 2 3-point hits. TJ Cummings, Ryan Walcott, Jason Kapono, another three. Oh! He's been a flamethrower this afternoon. 7 3-point hits. Gardner working, throwing it by Cummings, into Anderson, leaning on Barnes, and back and forth we go.
And that's a good way for Arizona to attack. They need to play inside out because they've got the double bonus in their favor, and they've got 3 points. Oh, wow.
Matt Barnes knocks one in from three. 87-86, Arizona by 1. Under 5 to play. Gardner wheels down low and out for Walton. Find him again, another triple. And a rebound by Kapono. Deflection by Anderson. He rams his way into Walcott. And that'll be a Rick Anderson foul. You turn up the defense. We've seen it so many times, regardless of what level. The defense always ignites every other aspect of your game.
That's well said, Kevin, and it's clearly on display here with Arizona in the comeback. Because as they got their defense in gear, they for one got some opportunities in the open court, and then they were able to get some threes to go down. But you're right, it kind of spills over to the other end.
Salim Stoudemire is checked in. He is the cousin of Damon Stoudemire, a great player in the Pac-10. You can see the three-point shooting this half, a combined 13 of 23, these two teams. Into Kapono. Trying to shuffle his way inside. Knight to Barnes with Walcott, Kapono, and TJ Cummings. Dan Gadzuric is fouled out of the game. Barnes the drive, the weave, and the feed. Knight for three. And a miss. That would have given UCLA the lead. Luke Walton, along with Kapono, get the ball at the same time. Jump ball, Arizona's possession.
That was good execution by UCLA. They got a good shooter, an open three-point shot. And then the scramble for the pumpkin. Both guys got there at the same time. Pretty good call there by the officials. Jump ball, possession arrow to Arizona.
Cedric Bozeman at 6'6", a freshman, will check in. And Ryan Walcott will check out. Freshmen seem to fill both lineups. 87-86 Arizona.
Bozeman back on the floor with 4 personal fouls. He's matched up with Gardner now as UCLA actually in zone. Little matchup zone here.
Walton trying to build on the Arizona lead. Kicks it outside. Bynum another triple. And a rebound by TJ Cummings with 3.5 to play in regulation. UCLA has not won in this building in 4 years. Bozeman holds on to it and gives it to Jason Kapono.
Well, they really like to get Kapono down on the box against the smaller Stoudemire.
Cummings losing it and picked up another UCLA turnover. They've had a ton here in the second half. Walton to build on the lead. Bozeman rebound. 15 UCLA turnovers. Bozeman losing it there. 16. Now for the Bruins down court. Gardner buckle up for Frye.
Off the turnover, the push ahead, Stoudemire, Gardner to Frye. The foul on TJ Cummings. Well, that's a nice setup by Gardner, who was in no position to try to score it himself. And the freshmen and juniors celebrate that flush.
There's Arizona in the Final Four a year ago, returning only 1 starter, 5 lettermen. They began the season not even ranked, as we told you before. They beat then #2 Maryland then number 6 Florida. And since that time, they've built upon their success. Down by 20 today. Now they lead by 3 with under 3 to play. And tonight, the AFC playoffs go prime time when Jerry Rice and the surging Oakland Raiders take on Pro Bowler Tom Brady and the upstart New England Patriots. The excitement begins with Jim Nance and company on the NFL Today. Tonight at a special time, 7:30 Eastern, here on CBS. There was a question about the score and a previous 3. We told you it was 3, but they had tacked it on. It is 4. Arizona's lead, 90-86. But there was a question, and the officials met at the official score table and got that ironed out.
Arizona, only 5 team fouls, so they can still commit a foul without sending UCLA to the line. UCLA over the limit.
Walcott comes back in with Dijon Thompson, Matt Barnes, Andre Patterson, and Kapono. A lot of freshmen out there for UCLA. There's one of them, Thompson. And another one, Patterson. Barnes to Kapono. Corkscrews up, missing the shot. Picked up inside by freshman Channing Frye. And here comes Jason Gardner the other way. To Bynum. 2.5 to play. And Arizona leads by 4.
A terrific comeback by Arizona. Still a long way to go. With the foul situation in their favor, they'll try to spread UCLA out, use the clock, and then probe inside either off the dribble or off the pass and try to play inside out, which they've done a very effective job of here in the second half.
For 3, Gardner with a miss and a rebound by Luke Walton with those long arms. He reeled it in.
Well, long shots typically lead to long rebounds when they're missed.
6 rebounds now for Walton. Stoudemire against Thompson. Kapono is on Gardner. Walcott is on Bynum. Shot clock is down to 12. Walton trying to pry his way inside. Bynum for 3. And the rebound by Patterson. 4-point game, 1:30 in regulation. It's Barnes with the drive and the dish caught by Thompson for 3. Rebound hauled in by Barnes.
They don't need threes, they need good shots.
Another miss inside. The Bruins have grown cold after leading by 20. Steve Lavin has watched his team turn the ball over, get beat on defense, and trail out by 4.
You said it all right there. Credit the Wildcats. They got a little smaller. They went with a little smaller lineup, especially when Gadzuric got into foul trouble, and their quickness bothered UCLA from about the 15-minute mark on of this half.
Arizona hovering over their 5th consecutive win, leading UCLA by 4. Three-way tie atop the Pac-10 for first place. UCLA, USC, and Oregon. Right now, the Bruins are down by 4. Coming up next, 6th-ranked Oklahoma State down in Lubbock to take on Bob Knight's Texas Tech Red Raiders in North Carolina against UConn. That's up next here on CBS. Kevin Harlan and Clark Kellogg in Tucson. You see the timeouts and the fouls. UCLA down by 4. Another timeout taken. Lute Olson will talk things over. McKale Center here in Tucson has been a tough place for UCLA to win, but what a roller coaster over the last couple weeks the Bruins have been on. They lose to crosstown rival USC. They beat #1 Kansas a week ago. They went earlier this week against Arizona State. They may lose now again on the road to Arizona.
After leading by as many as 20 here in the second half. But you got to give Arizona a lot of credit as their defense picked up and they attacked the Bruins inside.
Here comes Kapono the other way. A foot race with Stoudemire. Nice defense by Walton. Saved by UCLA. Then he slides out of bounds. Arizona gets it back. Luke Walton has had that kind of game in his lane and yet to get up.
Well, that was a terrific block by Walton. He allowed Kapono to get under him and then just got the ball. Looked like he may have twisted his ankle a bit. as he came down in the scramble for the loose ball. But excellent timing on that block.
Arizona does have a foul to give. They inbound with Walton. 30 seconds to play. A timeout taken by Luke Walton, who has an 18-point, 7 rebound, 7 assist night. Now Arizona's on a timeout and leading by 4. Arizona by 4, as Clark said moments ago, down by 20. And with defense, and that's been the one thing that Lute Olson, the Arizona coach, has talked about. When we play defense, we're a very good team.
They really are, because they're explosive offensively. They've got a number of weapons offensively. They can shoot the 3. They can get it inside. I think Walton has been terrific in attacking the basket. But their defense, that has been the difference. You got to give them an awful lot of credit, down as much as they were. But that's where the home crowd can come in. As you give them something to cheer about, the emotion ramps up and the play improves.
Our game reset.
One of the best coaches of all time at the collegiate level, Lute Olson, and Steve Lavin, only 6 years into his head coaching career. They see one slip away after they played so well for the first 25 minutes.
Number 6, Oklahoma State and Texas Tech will battle down in Texas moments from now, and North Carolina will be in Storrs, Connecticut, taking on the Huskies of UConn. Second half free throw shooting has been huge. Dan Gadzuric, of course, fouling out, and that's when the Wildcats were able to shred the interior of UCLA's defense. But also, don't minimize the free throws, Clark. Arizona now 11 of 17, alone in the second half. UCLA a meager 2 of 2.
Well, that's a byproduct of their aggressiveness, I think. And it started at the defensive end, and then they attacked the goal at their offensive end.
Arizona, their biggest lead. Jason Kapono for 3. Rebound Frye, held by Thompson. 20 seconds left. Well, this has got to go down to date as one of the great comebacks in this midway point of college basketball.
No question about it. They came from 19 down in the second half here at the McKale Center to beat Oregon State. But this was as impressive a comeback as you'll see.
With 13:10 to go, Arizona trailed 73 to 53. They've gone on a 28-2 run over the next 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Gadzuric out for UCLA. That hampered them, as we've mentioned. And the turnovers for UCLA, and a total reversal.
And you mentioned they did it in 6.5 minutes, Kevin. That was really what made it special. They didn't take a lot of time and expending energy to get back in it.
Really nice miss. Gardner came up with the ball, and the senior Gardner, the leader of this team, the guy who thought about leaving after last year in the Final Four, but decided to stay and come back. And said the other day, I'm so happy I made that decision with my mom. And we met with Coach Lute Olson. Come back and have one more year in Tucson. Chance of U of A. And the capacity crowd, as big a crowd as they've ever stuffed inside McKale Center. Gardner at the line. Arizona, if they go on to win, will be tied with UCLA in the Pac-10 at 5-2. Ten-point game. And the leaner by Walcott. Five seconds left. 96-86. Barnes for 3. And this will be a win to remember for Arizona. Chevrolet Most Valuable Players of the game, Jason Kapono from UCLA and Luke Walton from Arizona. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's General Scholarship Fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and assist those in financial need. Arizona wins their 5th consecutive game, 7 of 8. Now tied atop the Pac-10 with Oregon and USC to play later today. They have beaten UCLA for a 5th consecutive time inside the McKale Center. And they've beaten their 2nd consecutive top 20 team this week. For Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Tucson.